family. Welcome back to the maze. We're going through Sleep Token again. I think this is from the album This Place Will Become Your Tomb, which I thought that I had, finished. Listen, the YouTube playlists are all over the place. The YouTube playlists a lot of times will have songs missing, and, I need to just go to the official, Sleep Token YouTube page, which you should as well if you haven't. Listen, thank you guys for continuing with me on this journey. This one is called Missing Limbs. Let's just dive right into it, blind and butt naked. Let's do it. The signature Sleep Token sound is no signature, right? They're gonna do whatever.
Just to let me know, if nowadays the outer realms of heaven don't keep up on the charm offensive anymore, failing to remind you what you're living for. Now I'd give anything to...
Guys, does it seem to me like, Vessel always wants to make sure that he is in the good graces, right? And it almost seems like, it's such a... Like, Vessel just kind of seems empty. And maybe this music really resonates with people who have done that, who have been there before. And it's like, I've never embodied that particular position of wanting to completely empty myself for the sake of someone else. I mean, the most sacrificial areas of my life are in being a dad, being a husband, right? A provider. And so you have to sacrifice a lot. But I've never felt like I'm at the point where I feel so useless with respect to, or in comparison to my loved one, that I would say something, just let me know if there's anything that I can do that would slightly increase your acceptance of me. Let me know in the comments if that resonates.
Failing to remind you what you're living for. Now I'd give anything to borrow your indifference. I'd drink you in to temper your belief in all my promises, to swallow my desire and choke on it.
Oh, man. And then he says something like that, which just reminds me that I'm the guy. In the relationships which I'm in, and this is going to be a vulnerable thing that I say to all of you. In the relationships I'm in, I'm usually playing the part of sleep. If anyone is, and listen, I'm not someone who, I'm not a leech, I'm not a parasite, I hope. But maybe that's the reason I don't identify with Vessel as much, is because I identify with sleep more. I have had relationships where people are trying to do their best to make sure they stay in my good graces, even though that I don't think that I have big consequences for people that fall out of my fate. Maybe I do. I've never been in the Vessel position. Let me know in the comments if you are typically in the sleep position or in the Vessel position with respect to an imbalance in a relationship.
To temper your belief in all my promises, to swallow my desire and choke on it.
I just want to say, to borrow your indifference. He said, I'd give anything to borrow your indifference, to have a moment of peace, like to really just be me and be satisfied in my own skin, right? And it's a balancing act, because you don't want to be so indifferent that you just don't care, that you're callous and unfeeling, but you don't want to be so deeply sensitive that you're just like a rug for everyone to walk on either.
'Cause it still makes my blood run cold to remember what they did before, the stories that you never told to me. Oh, but but worry not. The blessings rain like bottles in the heavens.
No. We can't just skip past that. The stories that you never told me. Remember that sometimes Vessel takes on this air of the protector. He's not just the guy crouching in the fetal position and wondering how he can do sleep's bidding, though he often is that. He also can get into the mode of the aggressor, like I will completely destroy anyone who gets near you or anyone who aggresses, who's aggressive toward you, right? And I think we get a little bit of that, right? It still makes my blood run cold to remember what they did before. The stories that you never told me, right? It's like, it's still just a life lived through someone else, though. Wow.
Oh, but worry not. The blessings rain like bottles in the heavens. Lost. More polite advances won't last for long. The eager apprehension is wearing off. I'd give anything to balance your conviction with certainty. To fall asleep without you lying next to me. To sever my connection with everything.
And this is the vulnerability of recognizing. That's probably, to this day, the scariest thing to me about Sleep Token music is how deeply Vessel recognizes his conundrum, right? Because a lot of us, once we come to the recognition of like, oh snap, I'm stuck. I don't remember who I was before this relationship. I don't know who I'm going to be afterwards. I'm going in this negative direction where I'm kind of using the other as kind of a drug. Vessel, from the very beginning, has seemed stunningly aware of the problem that he's walking into, and will talk about it openly.
To sever my connection with everything. 'Cause it still makes my blood run cold to remember what I did before. The stories that you never told to me. And it still makes my blood run thin to remember what you are to him. And I live like I've got missing limbs for you.
And sometimes his cry seems like sobbing, right? And this is one of those examples where he just seems like he just doesn't have anything more to say and just starts to sob. Yikes. So look, I'd give anything to sleep without you lying next to me, to know how to do that, right? He says, I'd do anything to borrow your indifference, right? And so he knows what he's walking into. And he would give anything to be something else. And maybe that's the tool, right? Because a lot of you are letting me know, it's like, okay, what is the overall tool of the song, which is a very difficult undertaking, so bear with me. I think the tool, if I were to, on first listen, to just pick something out and say, this is what this song is trying to teach us, is that if you have the audacity to desire something, you are capable of, like, if you have this burning desire for something, we don't have burning desires for something which we're incapable of fulfilling. So when Vessel says, I'd give anything to borrow some of your indifference, right? He recognizes that before the interaction with sleep, there was a bit more indifference. There was a lot less dependence, right? Remember those former years. And to remember is to reestablish membership, right? I'd give anything to sleep without having to have you lie next to me, right? Vessel is kind of aching and burning for a type of independence that he refuses to grant himself because of some fear.